Is up, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. We got Alan House. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Dragon. Good morning to Helen. Good morning to Jared, Jeff, Joe, JT, Keith, look, Kevin, Lauren. Got Lucian in the house. Good morning to Marius, Michael, Ray, Rick, Rob, Russ. Good morning to Sarah, Tim, Virginia, Walter. All my people out in YouTube land. State of Lauren says good afternoon from Ireland. Top of the afternoon to you too. We got Wade in the house. Wade, what's up, Wade? All my lurkers in the background. Oh, Bijal. We got Vaughn in the house. Ivan, actually, right? Ivan, that's how I say it? I think so. Either way, good morning. All my lurkers in the background. Not gonna say nothing all day. It's okay. Hit the like and subscribe button. But yeah, we were talking about CPI on Tuesday, and we said PPI on Thursday. Those were the two catalysts that could disrupt the potential flow of the market a little bit. That flow being just straight bullish any single time we see a red candle. We did talk about yesterday's candle with that nice looking gap up. Yesterday, all being a retest gap. We talked about this level if we come in for a full retest. So we had two spots where maybe we just was just so bullish we don't even do full on retest anymore. This is 642.73. That's just around the close of the prior day's candle, so Tuesday's candle. Other than that, the actual VPOC 642.17. We did not get down there yesterday. Pre-market right now we're hovering around. PPI comes in hot. What are you guys gonna do? I don't know. Is the support gonna be good? It is now a retest gap from yesterday. We do know historically, especially recently, every single dip doesn't matter. The info comes in. The bulls are there. So we'll see. We'll see where this thing wants to open. If we're opening anywhere under the 642.22, I'm gonna have to lean a little bit bear. I know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to lean a little bit more bearish. If we stay above it, technically that VPOC from yesterday, and I don't know if we get there today, but 644.93, and then somewhere around the closing price for the retest, 644.11. That would be your spot. We do have a little high wave indecision after a big crazy run. The importance of the PPI again. So CPI is going to show us the consumer inflation, what we've seen in the markets. The PPI is going to show us what some of the manufacturers' inflation is. And the big question is, because in this report for both CPI and PPI would be what are the tariffs doing? So I think we can get the tariff talk back again. How it's affecting the economy. It's showing that came in pretty hot. So manufacturers right now, for what it seems like, are kind of just eating the cost of some of the extra bills. It's not getting passed on yet. In the future, that could be something that does eventually start trickling down, and then we start to see that now in the CPI. But CPI this time in line didn't really show it. PPI showing some potential warning signs. So we'll see. But yeah, market's not liking it. Also, I think the Fed futures rate for the for if we get the rate cuts in September was sitting at a good solid 100%. Now it dropped a little bit further. It's like 7-8% down. So starting to now have a little conversation leak in. Maybe we don't actually get those rate cuts that we've been trying to price in. We'll see. If we actually get a pullback, I mean, I don't want to go crazy, but if we actually get a pullback and then we end up getting the rate cuts, well, all of this that's kind of pricing in the rate cuts in September might actually give us a little buying the dip opportunity. Today might be just a little too soon. I don't know. But the most resilient market I think I've ever seen in my life. Uh, we'll see if that stays the same way. Otherwise, watch that spot. We're opening right at it at the moment, and we'll see. But SPY also has a lot of names too that are value names. And essentially, if the rate is maybe coming down, or if the rates, we'll see. But eventually, when those rates come down, some of those value play names might actually help boost it or maintain it. Where Q's mostly tech companies, not really big in the divvy zone, not really big on a lot of the value names. They are getting crushed a little bit harder today. So if this is a sign coming for what the SPY is going to do, then I don't think we're going to hold that support very well. This is still a retest gap from yesterday, where we kind of just sold off, most of that being a retest. I think it probably acts a little bit more gap and go-ish, but let's see. We'll see what happens. We got the spot where we should have held. We kind of broke it yesterday. We did rally back. We did bounce above it, but that's 579.58. And then we have the next spot 580.29. So we'll see if any of those two spots, if we do get a retest, that kind of comes in and retests. And if you're looking for a short, that's probably the better zone to do it at. Otherwise, if we just fall out of bed this morning, 575.07 would be our next support. Right underneath it takes us into 573.95. But in a longer term perspective, even if we were to draw a fib on this thing, I have a good unretested where we kind of just broke through this last zone. That should have been our last resistance. We never really came back after we broke out. So I'd be watching for 569.14 in a longer term if we're going to get some kind of pullback. And then you're also going to be met up with that 20 EMA, which we've been doing besides one day, August 1st, where we actually open and closed underneath it. We've been pretty consistent above that 20. So let's see what happens on that one. But doesn't look great. Doesn't mean that the buyers are not going to step in early. I just don't think we're going to hit all-time highs probably today. I don't know. Could be wrong. The Bulls are fearless. Buy every dip everywhere. Bitcoin, absolutely outstanding evening. Even into the wee hours of this morning, you got a nice little pump. We were hitting all-time highs, uh, potentially raising the rates, not or holding steady the rates. Not exactly what Bitcoin wants to hear. So lower interest rates, that means we'd be pushing more into a risk-on type environment. That's kind of what I think crypto is looking for. So we do have a healthy pullback, bearish engulfing candle after breaking one new higher. Yeah, we just got one new higher high. We'll see where it goes from here. Again, I think we're just early in the discussion of rates staying the same in September. You're starting to see some maybe opinions changing where it was pretty confident the market. I think the market's still pretty confident that we still get rate cuts in September. But PPI is going to be what Jerome Powell looks at more so than the CPI. So we'll see how the narrative plays out, and that's probably what you're going to hear. You want to tune into CNBC for the next 9.5 hours, and they might extend it. It might go all day tomorrow, where you start to hear tariff talk again, PPI report, and just probably recycle that same story over and over again. But that's going to be the new headline, and that's going to be what now investors are going to kind of be picking up on, and algos kind of reprogramming to understand more headlines based off of tariffs once again. Because we forgot about tariffs for a while. We talked about some deals coming in. We talked about this, but we've been under the impression, or at least the market's been under the impression that without a doubt September rate cuts come in, and now I think you come right back into that little bit of a narrative that maybe not. Maybe pump the brakes a little bit on being so confident. We got Palantir, PLTR. Palantir, yeah. Kevin, I don't know what medication you're on today, Kevin. You just thinking short on Palantir? That's unspoken words. That's not even allowed. It's not allowed. But I will have to kind of agree with you. I just don't know about the first 15 minutes of the day. This is definitely a retest gap. A better spot to short would be 185.32. If you can get there, maybe it runs into yesterday's VPOC 185.69. You got your support, first support at least 180.36. So you do have a little bit actually better risk and reward to the long side, but that does not look like a terrific gap. I'd see if this could get bought up first and look for shorts later. Otherwise, I don't know if they want to give me a high wave candle. I could play a tight setup. Maybe we could take something short on it. But that 180.29, other than that, if we could break through it, if we have an actual down day today, 177.26 and a wild day, or sometime, probably not today, but maybe tomorrow, something like that. If we continue a downtrend, we're looking at 171.86. But yeah, I don't think I'd want to be bullish. Probably just sit out the buying opportunity on Palantir until everybody else buys it, and then I look to go short. I think is the better play. All right, we got Amazon doing its own thing. Yeah, they're getting a nice little gap up today. Morgan Stanley has maintained an overweight rating, so $300 per share. I don't know if that's news from today though. Let's see. Uh, more events. Nope. Walmart can hold its own in food fight with Amazon. There's a there's a picture. Walmart food fighting with Amazon. You do have a little resistance above you, but yeah, doing something different than the rest of the market. I don't know when that report came out. Sometimes this AI trading view is older news, but this is at least saying Morgan Stanley is holding their overweight to 300. Probably I think at some point Amazon probably does get there. I kind of agree with him over time. Again, it's not even the retail portion of it, but AWS is huge. Every other factor income stream that Amazon has is just wild. But yeah, holding a little resistance. If we could break 226.52, I think your next stop is 227.80. I think longer term, they're probably looking for about 230.34. Close that gap, and then I don't think this is today, but 234.40. Otherwise, retest gap if you want to buy the dip on this one, or buy, oh, there's no dip here. But if it does pull back and you get 224.44, that should be your support for today. It is a retest gap too. We probably have some pressure from the markets unless we just open rip and don't look back all day, which is possible, but I don't know. I don't think the narrative is completely changed from PPI. I think it's the first sign that it can start to shift a little bit until we get another positive catalyst or well, what time does Trump speak today? Let's go off of that schedule. When is Trump going to come out to just negate the PPI? And then the market just rips it up higher. Let's get Amazon up here higher. We got Wolf. Crazy looking gap up. Is this? It's not earnings, it doesn't look like. When was earnings? Yeah, Friday the 8th. TeraWolf surges on cloud lease with a Google deal. Mm, Data center firm Wolf shares rise 25.5% to 685 pre-market. Co-enters a 10-year high performance computing coalition agreement with AI. All right, so a little deal with Google. So I guess a positive catalyst. Let's see. We are we're above a significant amount of volume on this one, which is good. I think we have about 758. Anything clearing that kind of sets us up, and we're already pretty much set up where there's nothing much holding us back. A couple small levels up here. It's already up, I think, over 25%. I think that was when that article was written. But look for some resistance, maybe around $7.58. And then a crazier day than already is $8.21. Maybe interesting on a pullback. A 10-year deal gives them some kind of security blanket as a company in general. Otherwise, I don't know too much more about the company. Pullback wise, it had technically gap and go from the last 2 days. Both of those inside this bullish breakout candle. We've been on an upswing. I don't know how to play this one. I have no idea. This is somebody check the short float on it. It's a little too high of a move where I really want to go bullish. I think it fades is how I would if I had to take a stab at this one. I probably would say it fades from here. I don't think I'd be a buyer at 732 with the news already out. But if you could get some kind of a drop, maybe into like even $6, eventually down the road you get a full 547-ish. Actually probably closer to 555. be a better buy spot. But the amount of volume that we're over, if this thing opens and runs, I wouldn't be absolutely shocked. I just don't think I'd be in it for that run. So we'll see. We'll keep it on the watch list. Such a big gap. I don't really want to go bullish on it, and it's a nice gap if you already own it though. Looks good. Walter says gap scanner shows AMD, MSTR, BMNR. Yeah, I was watching BMNR mostly yesterday. It went from up like 12, 13% to down 2, 3% on the day. It was kind of crazy. And then today also gapping down too. With again, crypto's not gonna like having lower interest rates. I mean higher for longer interest rates. Or an increase. We haven't got to that topic yet of maybe the rates actually increase. So we have to see what the next couple of reports say. But this PPI does set up Jerome Powell for a good, like he could just pull out an old script of we're just waiting to see what more data looks like. Um, you have a gap and go from yesterday. You hit a recent high on AMD. You are now trapping some bulls, and there was a lot of volume on this one. Still inside day candle. But you have a good gap fill all the way back down to 174.05. Still kind of hanging out at some support, which is 179.35. So yeah, I think the lean is bearish on this one. I don't know. I mean, I just if I have not watched the stock market for the last 12 months straight every single day that it's been open, I would say that this is definitely a bearish looking gap. But I've seen the market and they buy every single gap down possible. This one's had momentum. So my question on AMD is this for anybody that missed the gap yesterday, is this your opportunity? Technically, if you are bullish on AMD, I think throwing a stop somewhere at the low of the day, you're buying it, you have room up to 183.53. You have your risk reward in a bullish case, but I think we are trapping probably a decent amount of bulls where I think eventually now this gap fills. Probably going to be stubborn for today, but let's get this one higher on the list as well. I'd have to. I don't think I'd want to go bullish on it. I think I'd want to play it bearish, and I'm already sweating profusely just thinking about it. We got MSTR right into that 100, but yeah, gap down on this one. A little bit of support that is coming pretty much right at that 100. So look for support around 377.12. If that breaks, then we have room down to 372.05. This is a retest gap. Two spots on this one. So if we get a full on retest, I'd be looking for about 387.36 to the higher side. But I do also think that 380.53 is going to be your first kind of resistance. So to get to 380.53, if we think we stall there, I can't go bullish on this one. I'd actually wait for this one to pull back a little bit more, and it's still only going to give us about $4 to the higher side. If we think that that resistance can break through and we have a stronger retest gap after 1, 2, 3 down days, and we could get to this 387, then this is providing us a decent buy the dip opportunity again for a fade. I don't know how the story plays out with PPI and kind of have to wait 36 or 48 hours at least for some of the story to narratives to start changing. But um, that is a retest gap at support. Let's watch it. If it wants to give us a signal to maybe go bullish, play that fade. You have the opportunity, and it looks a little different. I would also check Bitcoin prior to that trade. If you're breaking key levels in Bitcoin, I don't know. BMNR, same thing. That's just going to follow Ethereum a little bit more closely. They tried so hard. They were at good locations. They had so much room to go. Could not hold it. Closed back above a good high volume zone, so 63.18. Again, at open, right now at least, we are holding a little tiny support. This is also a retest gap. Maybe going short at open on this one. Maybe not the best idea. This one can make some wild moves in every direction, but I think if you get back up into probably about 61.33, if you're looking for a short, you have some room to the downside. 52.56 would be a pretty awesome support that should hold. So either you're waiting to buy the dip closer to 52.33 if you like Bitmine, if you like Ethereum, Ethereum's already kind of pushed a little bit, but to me, this looks a little bit weak. I don't know if there's enough room for me to buy this dip, so I would have to wait for this one to see if we could make a bullish pop at some point, and then maybe look for a short. Might be tough to short this one. I know it's hard to borrow as well, but we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. PayPal. Every part of me on all these companies so far, are like, man, these look like good shorts. And then I'm just getting flashbacks of every other time somebody tried to short anything at all. And I'm like, PayPal, that one is a gap down. You got your next support on this one again. You're probably trapping some bulls, but that was a nice bullish day. We threw in yesterday, kind of get held up at the 20 EMA. You are getting some gap down. So again, we're trapping some bulls for today. Support 69.24. If you like PayPal longer term, you do have a double bottom on it. That was a break of the neckline. This is possible your retest into it. And then if the story is buy the dip and we just shake this whole thing off, you're going to be saying, man, that's a good swing trade. 69.19. Throw your stops at 66.52. All those names, IWM names, all those interest sensitive names, they're probably going to be PayPal is probably going to be one of them. But even like the affirms, the squares, the or blocks or whatever, uh, the SoFis probably not as strong. The Soundhounds probably not as strong today as maybe the last couple future days. In fact, let's check Soundhound next. Okay, so this one would be a do nothing for me at open, but we've put in a solid level of support. If this thing can actually break down $15.76, we should have a decent amount of room to the downside for a short on Soundhound. Again, I don't think the narrative of the missed PPI or the PPI coming in hot, I don't think that's going to do much in a bullish case for it, but we're still at a very, very good support. So stay above it. Okay, it's still lean bullish. I don't think I'd be buying Soundhound today, but if we could get underneath 1578, 1577, plenty of room to the downside for full retest 1366. And again, maybe look for targets around 1446 or take something off the table around 1446. But I'm going to move this one a little bit higher too. The narrative probably does not, and that might be an early warning sign if we actually get the bounce. If for the overall market, if Soundhound immediately starts bouncing, then hold off on some of those shorts because buy the dippers are not, or yeah, buy the dippers are not letting us have a dip. We'll see. Wolf has a short float of 30 plus. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna squeeze some bears on that one today. I don't know. All right, we got Hood. Hood is a retest gap. Not a great close on it. You would have liked to see Hood stay above 109.91. So I think we're starting to lose potentially some bulls. Still massively up there from even a month ago, 2 months ago. Support not too far away, 106.38. Um, in a longer term sense, I think you got to kind of have to come down, retest this 103.20, so that would give us some room. But again, shorting this one at open to me, that's a risky move with that support right there. I think I need to see that bounce back. I don't know. Maybe we don't get it. 108.59 would be my spot. That would give me better risk reward. I don't know what's going to happen at 106.03. If these bears are really here and break this thing down, then I think my next target takes us to 103.20. So again, I think I'm going to be a little patient at open today. Just let some, we have to let the bulls kind of rethink about how to even go short. I don't know. It takes time. Lucian Daniel says everything is going down. Yeah. Until 10:30. Give it an hour and we'll see where the the market is. I don't know. But yeah, it does look. I'd have to lean bearish today, but that is a tough. thing to do. Cisco had earnings not bad. They beat by 1.32% earnings per share. They did come in with a 57.44 million above expectation on revenue, so not a bad report. Not crazy numbers where that justify this move. So I think a lot of that was probably priced in. Cisco to me, again, retest gap, massive retest gap. I don't know, man. Do they buy everything? I don't think so. You have resistance. I see what happens. 67.92. If you get through that, you got like 68.32. Bigger resistance on this one takes it to like 68.64. I don't think there's a lot of resistance in the way on this one. You're also kind of breaking a pretty decent pivot. Let me check the volumes. Volume on this one. Yeah, the fact that this candle's taken out in a wild day today, you might bullish retrace to 69.24. I think that would be a tough one to break through. Full on retest 70.72. I don't think we get there today. So probably for me again, unless we start breaking some key numbers on this one, we're right at support. Makes it a risky game to go short here, where those shorts from uh, August 11th and August 13th are wildly profitable on this gap down for today. Maybe looking at support for a spot to take some of their gains. This could be a fade opportunity. Give it a couple minutes. We'll see if we can get some kind of significant smaller time frame entries, something like that to get the setup on. But yeah, we only have like 30 seconds left, maybe less. And I don't know. It's we've not allowed a gap yet in the markets or to not be filled by the bulls immediately stepping in. Still lots of money on the sidelines. I think we need some time for this thing to shake out first before we just go crazy today. But retest gap again on Tessie. You're still inside that candle, which those two last 2 days were. I can make a case for buy the dip on Tesla just on a risk reward basis, but it looks a little bit weak. Probably if it does get bought up, first spot to look to go short, 337.88, and I'd have my stops on this one somewhere above 340.82. Target Tesla would be 329.27. You're going to get caught up right around this 333.12 first, but we've already been there once. So if Tessie does get a buy candle at open, I'd be interested in going short. There's the market, so we're about to find out what exactly happens. And first initial candle on SPY, we have green. So far, candle on my 15 is a lot more time left. There's your Tessie riding it up a little bit. So we'll see what happens. Otherwise, everybody in YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. And be safe. I think be a little patient today and let the trade come to you.